Hey, what is up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be me going over and giving my first initial, reaction and gradings for all 12 of the new champions being introduced to the game today. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so if we click this little 3-bar menu thing and go news, we can see that there is 12 new champions being introduced to the game. I've got them kind of written down in my notes here, so we're just going to go ahead and go over them. I've made sure to not look at them or read anything about them because I want to give my kind of live reaction to them and kind of my first impression on grading them. I'll grade them all A through F, just kind of live first reaction, and we'll kind of go from there. So first is going to be Crypt King Grawl. I always say names wrong, and then people love to correct me in the comments, so have fun with that. But yeah, Crypt King Grawl, legendary in the Undead Hordes. It's gonna be gotta be this one here. Yeah, so all right, looks kind of cool. I like the little triangle circle geometry thing there. Okay, very cool looking champion. I'll give him that. So A1 is going to attack one enemy with a 60% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. That's a really good A1, especially for dungeons and for the clan boss. So, okay, I like that. The A2 is going to be attacked 3 times at random with a 50% chance of placing an HP burn debuff. Okay, so looking like a very good hero for the clan boss, because we've got a decrease attack on the A1, and then we've got an HP burn with a 3-turn cooldown on the A2. The A3 is going to be an AoE, place a freeze debuff on each target for 1 turn if they are under a HP burn, and the HP burn is attacked 3 times at random. Okay. Extends the duration of any HP burn debuffs for 3 turns, and this effect cannot be resisted. Okay, so interesting. This is going to be more of an arena ability. Freeze doesn't work against the clan boss or anything, so but definitely some interesting utility there. If you're using him in the arena, you would probably want to use this first, and then the next turn attack all enemies and try to freeze them and extend the HP burns. So could have some utility in kind of a defensive arena team. And then that's a decent aura. I like all battle auras, and HP is one that is just got some consistent value. So yeah, he's magic affinity, which I don't like. There's already too many magic affinity champions, but I do kind of like the synergy and design of the champion. So I'm going to give Crypt King Grawl an A-. So pretty solid. I do, my first impression is pretty positive of that one. Next, we've got Hegemon, who is a legendary in the Night Revenant Void. So we're going Night Revenant. Hegemon's got to be this one here. Alrighty. Okay. Looks cool. Digging it. A1 is going to be attacked 2 times at random. Each hit has a 35% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff. Okay. So that's pretty good for dungeons. And can be decent in the arena on a defensive team. We got an A2 that places a 50% decrease. Oh, it's an AoE with a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. Also a 50% chance of placing a block cooldown skills debuff for 2 turns. That's a really good ability for the arena. Yeah, you have it's just going to place a decrease attack debuff. 100% chance to proc as long as you have good accuracy. And then it's a 50%. That's really good for the arena. Got a passive, always goes first each round. Wow. If multiple Hegemons are in battle, the Hegemon with the highest speed will move first, followed by the next highest, and so on. Wow. So a passive that always goes first. Okay. And then we got an aura, increase ally crit rate in all battles by 19%. I don't really like crit rate as an aura. But in my opinion, this champion shouldn't even have an aura because it seems like it's already really good and got some decent utility. So I'm fine with the aura there. But wow. Okay, so my first impression is this character is going to be pretty insane in arena defense because he's always going to go first and immediately decrease their attack and possibly block cooldown skills for 2 turns while always going first. And then, you know, attacking 2 times at random and decreasing speed. So, yeah, Hegemon is probably like double S tier for arena defense. Going to be really good in that scenario and can be good in arena offense as well. So, yeah, definitely an amazing legendary right here. I could see Hegemon being tuned a little bit, but he is a Void legendary, so he should be good because Void legendaries are the toughest thing to acquire in the game. But I'm going to give Hegemon an A+. Definitely got some really good utility, and always going first and lowering attack is going to also have some good value in dungeons. So, and then decreasing speed is good versus bosses and dungeons. So, yeah, Hegemon, A+. That is a really good legendary. All right, so next is going to be Basilisk, is an epic lizard. Okay, epic lizard is why am I oh, okay, I thought this was JREG. Oh, that's right here. Okay, awesome. So Basilisk is going to be an A1 that attacks all enemies and places a 25% increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns if critical. Okay, decent. It's an A1 AoE. I like that. A2, attack 1 enemy and place a stun for 1 turn. That is very underwhelming. A passive that revives this champion to 30% HP when killed and places a block damage buff for 1 turn. Interesting. Okay, and he's force affinity. Attack all enemies. Interesting. Basilisk could be really good for the spider. We need to dive in and test the multiplier here. He's got a really good base attack number and a really good base speed at 99. So could be S tier against the spider, but I don't know how hard this A1 hits. Not really viable to be a campaign farmer because he's force, but yeah, definitely some good potential here. And reviving himself and placing a... Yeah, so pretty solid. I'm going to give Basilisk an A because could be really good slotting into that force role in the spider den, which is the toughest den, toughest dungeon. He may not have a ton of utility outside of that. So maybe A-. I'll give him an A-. But yeah, looks interesting. Next is going to be Golden Reaper, an epic in the Night Revenant. Epic, and it's got to be this one here. Okay, so a Void epic. Kind of stands like Spirit Host. The posture reminds me of Spirit Host. Okay. A1 is attack 1 enemy with a 30% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random ally skill by 1 turn. And then we can increase that to 50%. Okay. So that's a good A1. I like that. A2 is going to be an AoE with a 50% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff. Good. Decreases the turn meter of each target by 20% if they are not under. Okay. That's also really good. I like that ability. The A2 is good. A3 places a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns and boosts their turn meter by 20%. Wow. Golden Reaper is pretty good. Got decreased attack utility, decreased turn meter, an A1 that can reduce cooldowns, an A3 that affects turn meters and speed. Wow. Yeah, Golden Reaper's good. I'm at a speed of 111, a base speed of 111. Okay. Gosh, I'm gonna go with an A+. Like Golden Reaper looks like a really good champion for an epic. Now, it is Void, so it's going to be tough to get, but yeah, my first impression is A+. This champion has some good utility, and I would be excited to kind of dive in and test this one. Okay. So next is Occult Brawler, an epic from the Ogren tribes. Let's see here. Which one are we going to be? Is it this one? Okay. An A1 that attacks one enemy with a 50% chance of placing a 5% poison for 2 turns. Good little spirit niche to fill in against the clan boss there. Wow, this is a paragraph. I can't talk. So attack one enemy. If this champion is under 1 or more debuffs, this attack ignores 30% of enemy defense. If this champion is under 2 or more debuffs, enemies killed cannot be revived. If this champion is under 3 or more debuffs, this attack is always critical. If this champion is under 4 or more debuffs, this champion heals by 30% of the damage inflicted. This champion 5 or more grants an extra turn. Removes. Now, is this part of it in general? Removes all debuffs from this champion? Or is that because it's after a period? So I don't know if that removes all debuffs from this champion after the attack is just in general, or only if he's under 5 or more debuffs. So I don't know how that works for sure, but on a 3-turn cooldown, it looks okay, but not like super OP. Because being under that many debuffs is probably going to be pretty rare. And then a passive. Places a 2.5 poison debuff on this champion for 4 turns. At the start of each turn. Has a 75% chance of placing a 5 on a random enemy. At the start of each turn. Interesting. So, poisons himself. And then places a poison on an enemy. Interesting. So, mostly a clan boss hero, I think, here. Because this A2 isn't going to get very much value against the clan boss, though. So, yeah, my first impression is, gosh, a B-. Could be pretty good in the mid-game against the clan boss, but other than that, not a ton of utility. The A2 is kind of wonky. I'm not 100% for sure how the last sentence works. So, yeah, I'll give him like a B-. Next, we're going to go Pitiless One. An epic from the Night Rev. So a Night Rev getting a lot of love here. Is that going to be this one here? Yeah, Pitiless One. Alrighty, so an A1 attacks one enemy 2 times. That's pretty lame. So I'm assuming that the passive is going to be really good because it looks like a crit rate aura. So I bet the passive is going to be really good because the A1 is really lame. A2 is an AoE on a 3-turn cooldown. Each critical hit boosts this champion's turn meter by 15%. Okay, so that is pretty good. Each critical hit heals this champion. Okay, yeah, so that is a good passive. It's kind of like a lifesteal set for free. And then crit rate in all battles by 19% is kind of lame. Okay, magic affinity. Lame A1, but it does attack 2 times. So a chance to have a little bit of sustain there. And then this is pretty good on a 3-turn cooldown. Okay, I will give... So, Pitiless One is an epic. I'll give it a B. Looks decent and could be alright. Doesn't seem super godly or anything, but might be. I'd have to kind of dive in and test. My first impression is a B. Solid, but not like crazy. And the next one is Saqqara, an epic in the Barbs. So we finally get Saqqara. Has had an ally effect with another character that we haven't seen come through. So which one is Saqqara? Gotta be this one right here. Okay. So an A1, attack one enemy, fills this champion's turn meter by 25% if critical. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Attack all enemies 3 times. Each hit has a 40% chance of removing 1 buff. Each hit with a 40% chance. That's really good. So I do like that. And then an A3, attack all enemies. You can get that down to a 4-turn cooldown and 60% chance of placing a 25% weaken. So not bad there. Revives this champion with 75% HP when killed. Only available with Alika on the same team. Okay. Pretty good. Fills this attack all enemies. So this is a 4-turn and this is a 4-turn. Yeah, pretty good. Places a weaken. Yeah, pretty generally useful. Could even probably be a campaign farmer. You know, really low base attack, kind of a defensive character, but good base speed. Really low base attack. So I'd have to see what the multipliers are, but yeah, I'll give Saqqara a B. Looks interesting. So next, let's go Adjudicator, a rare in the high elves. Adjudicator, rare, high elves, right here. Looks like Heiress. An A1 with a 20% chance of placing a 50% heal reduction. Okay. So it could be really good for the Spirit Dungeon because she is magic. So she'll be like S tier in the Spirit Dungeon, I'm thinking. Attack one enemy with a 50% chance of decreasing the turn meter by 20%. And you can get that buff chance up to 60. So yeah, okay. A decent ability, but it's a one enemy hitter. 2 times at random with a 50% chance of increasing the cooldown. Okay. And then ally accuracy in all battles by 40. So we're getting into rares. So they're obviously, you know, going to be much more niche and not quite as good. So for a rare, I'll give her, I don't know, a B- or a C+. I mean, nothing special, but at least useful in the Spirit Den or Spirit Dungeon. All right, so Crimson Slayer is a rare in the Night Rev. Going to be this one here. A1, attack 3 times. I like that. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a sleep. Okay. Attack 1 enemy with a 70% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 50%. Ooh, okay. That could be good. Not for the clan boss, but maybe in dungeons. Sorry, excuse me. Attack all enemies on a 5-turn cooldown with an 80% chance of placing a heal reduction. Kind of lame. Yeah, I'll give Crimson Slayer like a C or a C-. First impression is not super great. Next, let's go Harvester, a rare in the Dark Elf. Gotta be this one here. This looks exactly like Spirit Host. Okay. A1, attack 1 enemy 2 times, 35% chance of placing a 15% weaken for 2 turns. That's a decent A1. I like that. Attack 1 enemy with an 80% chance of placing a block buffs. Okay, that's okay. And then a 4-turn cooldown attacking 1 enemy with a 90% chance of increasing the cooldown of one of the target skills by 2 turns at random. One of the target skills by 2 turns at random. That's kind of worded weird. I think it should be has a 90% chance of increasing the cooldown of a random skill by 2 turns or something. Like, it just seems like it's worded weird. But okay. So it seems like an arena character that's going to be focused on reducing cooldown, but doesn't seem super generally useful. So I'm gonna give Harvester like a C-. And then we go Vanguard, a rare in the Banner Lords. Right here, okay. Looks kind of cool. I like the teal armor. An A1 places a 30% decreased defense debuff for 1 turn if the target's defense is lower than this champion's, and he's a defense champion, so that makes sense. Okay, it's a decent A1. A2 is attack 1 enemy, place a provoke debuff for 1 turn if the target is under. That's pretty lame. And then the passive is decrease the duration of all buffs on the attacker when hit. That's interesting. It's got some decent utility. The duration of all buffs, so it doesn't just flat out remove them, it decreases the duration, but yeah, still not super great. I mean, that's got a little bit of utility, but I still like the previous ones. I got to give it a C or a C-. Doesn't seem super generally useful. And the last one is going to be Thrasher, an uncommon in the Ogryn tribes. Thrasher uncommon. Looks like Brute. Attack one enemy. Okay. Attack one enemy with a 15% chance of placing a block buffs debuff for 2 turns. Okay, so yeah, this guy's food. I mean, block buffs could be useful, like, against the magic keep, but he's spirit, so he's gonna have a tough time placing it. So yeah, Thrasher is just kind of food. There's not a whole lot to go over there. But yeah, okay, so first, or kind of not first impressions, last impressions is Hegemon in the Knight Revenant is awesome. I could see possibly getting tuned a little bit, but hey, he's a Void Legendary, so he should be really good. But yeah, definitely kind of the winner of the pack here that I would be most interested in acquiring and testing out. And then there was a couple other decent champions, and then a few underwhelming ones, which is kind of what you would expect in a situation like this. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments, if you agree or disagree with kind of my first initial impressions of them. And yeah, as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.